Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to No Name Gaming. My name is Alex Light here at Racing Lights Productions, your home for sim racing. We are live at the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Online Motorsports Association's Virtual Racing Championship Lobster 150. As we enter Loudon, New Hampshire tonight, there are only 3 races remaining in the regular season. Some drivers are pretty much locked into our top 12 driver playoff. There are still quite a few that are fighting for a chance to make it into the top 12. Last week, we saw a smaller field at Homestead in Miami, but that was a benefit to drivers such as Tyler Glass and Jonathan Amodio. There are still a few drivers on the outside looking in. Kyle England, Ryan Miniker, and Jared Newton are the closest on the outside coming into tonight. Tonight could be a big night at the Miracle Mile. If you watched the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series last week, Garrett Lowe got his first win of the season and locked his way into the playoffs. We could see a similar story here tonight at what is possibly one of the toughest ovals on the regular season schedule. For tonight's race, we will have quite a few substitutes. We have Luca Mazzilli driving for Tyler Glass in the number 8. We have Jordan Boisvert driving for the number 25, Jared Newton. Victor Imbassiani driving for the number 35, Kyle England. And Josh McQuiggan filling in for the number 2, Drew Jua. Just to make things a slightly bit more confusing, Ryan Miniker, driver of the OCM number 48, will be driving his number, but will appear as Drew Jua on the timing board. Everyone got that? I hope so. I hope I have it. It's going to be very confusing as we go throughout the night, so I apologize if I make mistakes. There's a lot of drivers filling in, some drivers on different accounts here tonight. It is what it is. We're going to do the best we can with it, but it's going to be some exciting racing here around New Hampshire. Some bumping, beating, banging. It's really a lot of different ways you can drive this track. I mean, you've got some drivers like to diamond it, some like to stick it on a lane. Me personally, I like to ride it in that second lane up from the bottom. But one thing to keep in mind about this track, it has progressive banking. So if you go down towards the apron through the corners, it's flatter than it is up towards the wall. So something to be aware of as we go throughout the race and watch and see how these drivers handle that. But let's go take a look over at the point standing since we did mention the points. So you take a look. The cutoff line is 12th place behind JT Sipes. Right now, he is the cutoff line. He is technically in, I believe, as the wild card. He won a race, so he's currently in that wild card slot. The other wild card driver would be Kevin Yerguez right now. He's currently sitting 5 points ahead of the cut line. Drivers looking to make it in. We've got Kyle England. You've got Ryan Miniker, Jared Newton are the 3 that really have a strong chance if they can have 3 good races here at New Hampshire tonight. Next week at Long Beach, and then at Vegas with the regular season finale. Brad Qualls, he stands a bit of an outside chance, out 39 points, but again, some really strong races, gives himself a chance to make it into the points battle. Tyler Glass is into the top 10. I believe this is the first time this season, or since the early part of the season, but he finds himself just barely in there. He's currently 10 points above the cut line. A big race here tonight for his substitute, Luca Mazzilli, would be huge for Tyler Glass. So we'll see how that fares tonight, how things are going to play out with that. But you take a look, Jonathan Modio, he was able to bump up last week. James Mendez was able to give himself a bit of a cushion. And then I would say pretty much from Jolene Sims up to Tim Moore, they're all safe. They're pretty much all locked in. I would almost venture to say Jonathan Amodio, but he needs just another good day or a solid day, and I think he's going to be able to lock himself in after this week. Taking a look at the team standings, we've got OCM still on top. McGinnis has been hanging in there. They're blow for blow. Just can't seem to close that gap. Past about 40 points. It's been that way for the past couple races. They've been fighting really hard. They've gotten some good finishes. Just every time it just seems like OCM is able to get just a slightly better finish than them with 2 drivers. But it is what it is right now. Still plenty of time for the team standings, for the team championship to play out from there. Taking a look a little bit further down the list, you've got Planet Sim Esports. They're holding on. They're still within 100 points of OCM, holding on to 3rd place. They've got themselves a pretty good fight. And then Gavin Hudsmith Racing and Vortex Racing battling it out there for 4th, as 4 points separate the 2 of them. Now switching over to the schedule here for the rest of the season, we've got, like I said, tonight New Hampshire, Long Beach next week, Las Vegas, finishing out the regular season. The playoffs, we start at Michigan, so nice wide 2-mile oval, then short track racing at Richmond, some super speedway at Dega. Then we go to the Charlotte Roval for a road course at Phoenix, and then season finale at Chicagoland. So a really, really well done schedule in my opinion. I really like the way this schedule plays out. I think having the season finale be at Chicagoland is going to produce some really, really good racing. So let's go ahead and check out our starting lineup. It looks like drivers are pretty much ready to roll. So we are gridding now. So let's go check out your starting grid here for tonight. On pole, we've got Min Hang. Min Hang and Jolene Sims are going to lock out a McGuinness Motorsports front row. And it's separated by about 0.04 of a second. Min Hang has done really well in qualifying, as well as Jolene. So we'll see how they fare tonight. Looking for maybe a McGuinness 1-2 in the second row. We've got Eric O'Connor and Jared Talmadge. Row 3 is Tim Moore. He is back in his car tonight after being in Pocono last week. And Isaac Shelley in 6th. JT Sight, looking to try and make sure he can lock himself into the playoffs, currently in the wild card, is in 7th. Alongside him will be James Mendez. Rounding out the top 10 in row 5 will be Jordan Martin and Jonathan Amodio. Going outside of the top 10, we've got Colin Teague and Kyle England. And I apologize, Kyle England is Victor Imbasciani. I'm going to do my best to remember this as we go throughout the night. Then in the 13th, we have the 48 of Ryan Miniker. And then you've got Joshua McQuiggan filling in for Drew Jewett. So it's going to be very confusing. Yes, I know. I'm going to be messing up all night. I apologize to you guys now. It's just lots of confusion going on in my head. So you can only imagine. I can only imagine what you guys are thinking watching this. But taking a look in row 8, we've got Corey Rainey and Fabricio Lamana. Then in row 9, we've got Caleb McNeil, who is making his first start of the season. He is a former VRC driver, and he actually has 3 career wins to his name. And alongside of him will be, not really Tyler Glass, it is Luca Mazzilli. Finishing out the field, we have Brad Qualls and Jimmy Amos. So that's our starting lineup here for tonight. Quite a wide mix of drivers here. And lots to keep track of for those that are getting substitutes. Jordan Martin is actually Jordan Boysford, so his last name did not come up, I guess, the right way. So he is filling in. The number 3 car will be earning points for the 25 tonight. So something to keep in mind. Only one pace lap around here at New Hampshire, so the lights are off on the pace car. And we are going to be able to go green this the first time around the Miracle Mile. Will we have a Miracle first-time winner tonight? Can somebody shock the field and maybe make themselves a case to jump into the playoff contention? Just 3 races remain in the regular season, and we're getting ready to go green here at the Lobster Town 150. Bending the pace car driver is off, and the green flag is out. Min Hang leads the field to the green as they go around New Hampshire for the first time tonight. And the caution is out. Some chaos on the backstretch, and that's one big trouble for this track. It's especially in turn 2. There's a little bit of a bump coming out of turn 2 onto the backstretch that the car doesn't seem to like it too much, and so that's what caused. You saw a couple cars. I believe Eric O'Connor was one of them, and we'll go take a look at who else got involved in that. But a couple cars got a little loose out of 2. The cold tires do not help this car either. But let's go take a look, see what happened with that caution. Our first one of the night, unfortunately, coming out on lap 1. We'll go take a look here. Eric O'Connor comes out of turn 2. And yeah, the car just a little bit too much throttle. Car brakes a little loose. I couldn't save it. Ooh, that is a huge hit for the 21 of Corey Rainey. Let's go back one more time. And we'll take a look at Corey Rainey here. right on board with the 21 machine. And you'll see it looked like Eric had saved it, so I don't know what happened to the car that it snapped back into the track, because you see there, catches a little bit of the grass. Car seems to be together. Oh, yeah, it was still wobbling there a little bit, and nothing Rainey really could have done because he had a car on the outside as well. Hopefully, the car not too damaged. He's going to be able to use his fast repair. Hopefully, get it back on track here. Our first caution tonight comes out, unfortunately, on the first lap, but Jolene Sims, through the first 2 turns, able to overtake her teammate. So, Jolene Sims is going to lead the field to the first restart of the day. She'll still be alongside Min Hang, though. And you can take a look at Jarrett Talmadge behind with Isaac Shelley. Then Tim Moore rounds out the top 5. You take a look at these drivers that are currently in the top 5, I believe. Yeah, the only ones without a win. They're desperate for one. They are hungry for one. Isaac Shelley in the 98 and Tim Moore in the 69. Both drivers are really trying to fight. I mean, we've heard it from Tim all season long. He's got the car. He's got the pace. Just can't seem to get that car in victory lanes. Either he makes a bad strategy call, or just the pace falls off a little bit, or it's just bad timing for things. He just can't seem to get that car past second and third place. Same thing with Isaac Shelley. We've seen him, we've talked to him several times about what he needs to do, and it just comes down to being there at the right moment. He's been up there, he's been contended several times, just cannot seem to put that car in victory lane. But we'll see if he's going to be able to get it done tonight. We should be going 1 to green this time around. Another driver looking for their first win. He's currently sitting back in 6th place, the 92 of James Mendez. A win here tonight would definitely make sure that he would be in the playoffs. And give me 1 moment here. All right. There we go. So it looks like Jolene choosing the bottom lane here. An interesting choice considering she got the edge there on the outside around Min Hang. But it is what it is. We'll see how that fares for her. And so we're going to get ready to go green flag racing. Hopefully we can make it past the first lap here. And that's the big thing about this track is it's very tough to get on throttle on the exits. We already saw a couple drivers have some trouble with that on the opening lap. We'll see how they fare now that we've gotten at least 1 corner in. Pace car is going to make the hard left here coming out of turn 4. And the field is in the hands of Jolene Sims in the number 6 car. And here she goes. She gets a good jump over Min Hang. Is she going to try and clear him as they head down into turn 1? She will. That leaves Jarrett Talmadge alongside Min Hang as they go side by side, 2 by 2, all the way through the field here, coming around turns 1 and 2. A little bit of a wiggle. There's another car loose further back. That'll be the 3 of Jordan Martin. He saves that, and he takes a little bit of a curve, but he's going to keep it rolling. We're still green flag racing as the field comes through turns 3 and 4. Still 2 by 2, 3 wide, a little bit further back. That is Colin Teague alongside the 7 of Jonathan Amodio in the Kyle Busch throwback, a sideways car. That is going to be, I believe that is the 35. That is Victor Imbassiani here tonight. Oh my gosh. Also, the 20 of Caleb McNeil locks it up coming into turn 1. Takes a hard lick there on the outside. And more cars spinning on the backstretch. So lots of accidents happening here out of that caution. Unfortunately, don't make it too far. We only make it about a lap and a half here. Let's go back here. It looked like came from some hard racing there coming around 1 and 2 that brought out that caution. I believe it was with the 35 of Imbassiani. So let's go take a look at that wreck. You got Colin Teague on the inside, Jonathan Modi on the outside. They are 3 wide coming down the front stretch. We got McQuiggan behind. McQuiggan filling in for Drew Jua And it just looked like Imbassiani came down a little bit, clips the 8 as well. So Luca Mazzilli doesn't take too much damage. And then you see, I don't know what happened there with the 20, but he came flying in. Let's take a look here real quick. I want to see what's going on with the 48 of Ryan Miniker, because he got, it wasn't involved with the wreck, but he was sideways on the back stretch. I don't know if it was coming out of the corner, maybe gassed it too much. Let's take another look here. Does a good job, just keeps it down low, avoids the spin there. Oh, and Mazzilli accidentally hooks him. Oh, that is rough, because he took a hard hit on the outside wall. So that's unfortunate. It doesn't look like there's a ton of damage on that 48 car, but at the same time, it doesn't take much to upset these cars. And when we saw the 20 take a pretty good lick, I don't know if it broke the toe, but it probably beat it up a good bit. 48 and 20 currently on pit road. But not the cleanest of starts here, unfortunately, for the Lobster Town 150. We'll see if we can turn it around, maybe get some single file and get these cars straightened out a little bit. It's just really tough here around this track. There's so many different options for what you can do. You can go for a little bit of a tighter entry where you try to hook down on like that bottom lane, or you can try and go for a wider entry where you go up like in the third lane up or so, and you try to see if you can like hook the middle and get the car to rotate in the middle. I've even seen some people where they ride it up in that third lane, about a lane up from where we see Jared Talmadge right now. And then when you get to the middle, hook it down 2 lanes basically, down to where you see Jolene Sims, and try and get a straight exit off. So there's a wide range of approaches here. And I think that's part of what we're seeing right now. Drivers trying to figure out how to maneuver around each other, trying to make sure they can get their line and get these cars to rotate. Because me personally, I just raced here a couple weeks ago with a league. I was having troubles getting car rotation. It just mid-corner, car would not move for me. A lot of drivers you will see diamond the corner. I tried that, couldn't get the car to turn down in the middle of the corner, so I just hooked it around that second lane to the bottom where you see the inside line currently. It worked out for me all right, but it's a tough thing to do. This is one of the hardest tracks, I think, on the regular season schedule. But we're green flag racing yet again. Jolene Sims gets a phenomenal jump. Jared Talmadge a little slow on the restart. That's going to allow Min Heng to dive down to the inside, get himself second place. Isaac Shelley tries to push Jared Talmadge, and it looks like Shelley will be clear. And so JT Sipes now side by side. That's a little bit of a smack to the wall there for Colin Teague. Cars behind are going to fan out trying to get around him. And we're 2 by 2 as we head down into turn 1. Or sorry, turn 3. Side by side, this is Jonathan Amodio. And that is Min Heng backwards against the wall. We are cautioned yet again. Let's go back, see what happened there on board of the 2 of Min Heng. And what brought that caution out? I don't know if he got tagged or what. It looked like the way he spun off, it looked like he probably got tagged there. You see Jared Talmadge look to the inside. And boop, yep, there it is. A little bit of a bump there. Just a racing, it's all it is. Nothing nefarious there. We'll go back and look at that again. And let's take a look here from a wide angle. And you can see a little bit of a bump on the outside wall from Min Heng. That's going to allow Jared Talmadge to take a peek on the inside. Min Heng sends it. Jared able to get really good rotation on the car. He just gets the nose in there. Min Heng tries to hook it back down to the inside. And it just turns him around. So nothing bad there. Just racing, fighting for the same space. It just is what it is. But right now, over the radio, drivers not too happy with the fact that we have 3 cautions already. They want to try and get some racing. And right now, we've run about 3.5, 4 laps right now of green flag racing. So hopefully we can get it together, get some green flags going here, maybe get a little bit of a longer run. Just got to get into the groove and get things rolling. But we might even pull in a driver or 2 here to talk about what's going on here in the car, because right now, definitely, they're not too thrilled with what's going on track. But we'll have to see if we can maybe pull a driver or 2 in a little bit. So we're getting ready. Looks like we're going to go 1 to go. Jolene Sims is going to choose. Oh, maybe we're not 2 to go. We're 2 to go instead. Yeah, we're still 2 to go. Like I said, next week for the OMA VRC, we will be heading to Long Beach. And we have something special in store for you guys for that race. It's going to be a little bit of a different broadcast from what we've normally done at the road courses. We're actually going to have, I believe, 2, maybe even 3 of us in the booth, and we're going to do some radio style broadcasts for you guys. And if you don't know what that is, basically all 3 of us are going to be assigned different parts of the track, and we're going to report throughout the track of the action going on and everything like that. So it's going to be really exciting, a lot of fun to call that race. I'm intrigued to see what these cars can do at Long Beach. I might try a couple laps myself and see how they drive at Long Beach, because I've never, first off, I've never driven Long Beach, period. But I want to see how it drives in the stock car, because the only street course I've done in a stock, the only street course I've done in a stock car is Chicago. I've done Montreal, if you want to consider Montreal a street course. I did it in the Xfinity car back in the winter. But it's kind of a street course, but it's not. So, but yeah, these should be really interesting there, because these cars do not handle slow corners as well. It takes a lot to get them around. Montreal is not a street course. It drives like one. Okay, it drives like one, Greg. But we're getting ready to go green flag racing again. We'll see if we can get a green flag run. Cross your fingers and hope real hard that we can keep these cars straight for a little bit. So get ready, buckle up here. Green flag racing about to get back underway. Back of the field needs to catch up a little bit. They're kind of spread out right now. But here we go. Green flag is up, and we're green flag racing. Jolene Sims tries to jump the field over Jared Talmadge, and she's able to get out ahead, and it's going to pull Isaac Shelley side by side as they dive into turn 1. Isaac Shelley's going to be able to hook that bottom. Jared Talmadge got tagged doing that earlier, and he's able to clear. JT Sipes almost tagged by Tim Moore. They're going to be 3 wide further behind. Now it's going to thin out to 2 by 2. Colin Teague really sending that inside line. Can he make it stick, though, as we go? You can see the 7, Jonathan Amodio. He is riding almost the apron. And if you can make it stick, it's got some good speed around the corners. You don't have a lot of exit speed, but it's also going to kill your tires, because there is almost no banking all the way down there on the bottom. Colin Teague side by side with Tim Moore. Now James Mendez as he tries to work his way in line. Oh, no, McQuiggan loses it coming out of 2. Big wreck along the backstretch. Let's go take a look here. As we come around, it looked like McQuiggan got loose on the exit, but then nothing anybody really could do as they tried stopping, tried getting out of his way. A little bit of a checkup there from Tim Moore, I think, might have caused the car to get a little uneasy. You see Amodio get hit. I think Jordan Martin is another one. There's Victor Mbasiani. A lot of drivers getting involved. Min-Hang also getting tagged in that one as well. So McQuiggan gonna have to get that car down pit road. Probably take the faster power, I would think. It looks like the car's okay. The rear is what got beat more than anything. It doesn't seem like it's crabbing or anything. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but a lot of drivers tagged in that one. We'll see a whole bunch come down pit road, but some drivers also come down that you wouldn't expect. We see Tim Moore come down pit road with Eric O'Connor maybe checking for damage, it seems like, or maybe just doing a quick top off on fuel. James Mendez also making a stop down pit road. So a handful of drivers making their way. All right, now lap 20. So a bit of a slow grind here tonight, unfortunately, but we're gonna see if we can keep things rolling. Let's see if we can maybe pull Tim Moore down here for a quick interview. Because we should. We should. Let's see if we're gonna be 2 to green or if we're gonna be 1 to green this time around. Yeah, we'll wait to see what what it is before we pull him. Because if it's gonna be 1 to green, I'm not gonna pull him. We don't want to pull an SRX. We don't want to get live call here. Like if you were watching SRX this past week, they got Clint Boyer on the radio. Yeah, we're 1 to green. We'll wait. We'll save it for the next. If we have another caution, we'll see if we can pull Tim Moore next time. Talk to him a little bit, maybe a little bit about his trip to Pocono this past weekend, as well as kind of what he's feeling in the car right now and how he's feeling about the beginning of this race. I know he's not too thrilled. It's not the best showing we've had so far, but I mean, it's tough. This is one of the hardest tracks on the schedule. It is not an easy one to drive. You see a lot of leaks come here, even in official races. It is a bit of a caution fest at times. So Jolene Sims, Jerry Talmadge going to lead us around to the green flag yet again. Second row will be Isaac Shelley, JT Sipes. Then Colin Teague rounds out your top 5 alongside Brad Qualls in that really interesting dark red and green scheme. Green flag racing again. Here we go. Jolene Sims leads the field around. Gets a huge jump over Jared Talmadge. That's going to leave Isaac Shelley and Jared Talmadge side by side. You also have Colin Teague. Looks like he's not going to get alongside the 81 of JT Sipes. Side by side coming out of turn 2 as they get ready to head down into 3. Somebody going to try and outbrake the other. It looks like they're going to go even through turn 3. Expect Talmadge to have a little bit of a run off. But it looks like Shelley might be able to get clear there coming on to the front stretch. He will be clear, but is not going to open up all the way to the wall. There he goes. He is clear. That is P2 for him. JT Sipes looking around the outside as well. It seems like the field starting to spread out a little bit. Oh, Mendez, what a save there coming out of turn 2. But that's not going to prevent the field from going under caution. Looks like somebody else wrecked it further back. So let's go back and see here. That was a phenomenal save there from the 92 of James Mendez. Well, let's see here, the 7 of Jonathan Amodio. But he checks up. And he just spins it out of... Yeah, he just spins it out there, and that's what brings out the caution, unfortunately. I want to go on board here. Let's ride on board with the 92 of James Mendez. And just watch this slide and how he saves it. It was absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if he maybe hit that transition. Oh, he got a little bit of a tap there. Oh. So that's what happened. He got a tap from the 35 of Imbassiani. And that's what broke the car loose. I thought he maybe hit that transition in the progressive banking. But no, it was just a little bit of a love tap there from the 35 that ended up causing him to break loose. Phenomenal save, though. From the from the 92. All right, so let's see if we can get Tim Moore down here. Oh. Hey, Tim, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
How you doing?
Sorry, I was just laughing at Victor's paint scheme, or I guess Kyle England's paint scheme. So
yeah, it's definitely not confusing at all tonight.
No. We're trying to play some strategy here, though. I know we've had a lot of cautions early on, but we're averaging more laps per green than the Coke race, so I guess that's a win. But it's just interesting. This is one of the more difficult tracks we'll go to, and we're proving that right now. But obviously you saw, oh God, was that last caution or the caution before? Caution before. Came down, took 4 tires. Now we're the first car on freshies, and we're going to try to make it to halfway here without pitting with the cautions, because you're still going to be short even with the cautions. So we're trying to get a little bit, out of the box, or outside the boxes, I guess you could say, to give ourselves a chance to get some big bonus points, because I don't think I'm faster than the 74, and I definitely don't think I'm faster than JoJo. So we're just trying to maximize the points we have before, a 2-week vacation and sub.
Well, hey, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Still plenty of race This track, as you know, always produces all sorts of chaos, especially towards the end of races. So who knows? Anything can happen. But I want to just ask, how was Pocono? You missed last week. You had Luca Mazzilli in the car because you were out at the Pocono track real life for that entire weekend. How was it?
Great experience. I can't emphasize enough how fun that was, getting to talk to real life drivers and, getting to get certain perspectives. I mean, getting to see the Denny drama one-on-one, from a personal perspective of what folks may not see at home, is its own thing. But, for any folks that are aspiring to be media or do play-by-play and so on, or journalism, I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and just get yourself involved. In our case, it was with WRSU in Jersey, and that's how we found ourselves in perfect position to go do something. It was the best experience of my life, and we look forward to going to more tracks further with Motorsports today.
All right, well, you guys are 1 to green, so I will send you back on up to the OCM channel. That way you can get ready with your team to go green.
Thank you. Hopefully I don't wreck.
All right, we'll be hoping the same here. But good luck the rest of the race, Tim. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Tim Moore, driver of the 69 Chevy for the OCM racing team. We're getting ready to go green flag racing again. We'll see if we can stay green here this time. You could hear Tim a little frustrated here with the start, but again, like he said, and to reiterate, this is not an easy track. It's definitely one of the toughest on their schedule, and even the server. It's not just it's drivers being aggressive or anything. It just is a hard track to drive in this Cup car. We're green flag again, and it's looking like we might spread out a little bit. It looks like the 8 having some trouble. A couple cars bumping further back, and oh no, we are out. Green caution out again. Let's go take a look here. We'll go from the blimp angle this time. And let's see here. Taking a look, it was the 8 checking up. Yeah, you got a lot of cars. Mazzilli checked up. Jordan Martin got into the 48. Yeah, it just... unfortunate there. There's no need to go 4 wide on a restart like that. It's really, really rough. Really rough. But it came from, it looked like the checkup from the 8. Now, I don't know what happened to the 8. Let's go on board here, see if we can listen. It looks like he just either missed the start or was in the wrong gear. Let's go on board again here, because that's where it's where it stemmed from. Let's go in the car here through the cockpit, and let's take a look here from the 8 car. So, yeah, that looks to be the issue. Wasn't in the proper gearing. And that's what caused the entire field to check up further behind. Let's go look one more time here. And we'll ride on board. Let's take a look from, I think, Jordan Martin is who we want to ride on board. Or Caleb McNeil, maybe. Let's see if we can get on board here with McNeil. Oh, maybe not McNeil. There it is. Jordan Martin. So taking a look there. Yeah, that little bit of tag from Miniker on O'Connor, and then yeah, just squeezed all in there. Nothing you can do. So it just, that checkup on the restart, you don't expect it. Causes the whole field to get into a little bit of chaos trying to fan out. There's room there on the front stretch, but whenever you squeeze as tight as they were, nothing you really can do. Lots of cars coming through pit road. Several have probably already used their fast repair. Some others probably at this point are just trying to use as much damage as they can. One of those drivers being the 2 of Min Heng. As you can see, that right front is just completely, they took it all off there. It's just a bare tire at this point. I don't know if he used the fast repair, though. It seemed like he might have just held off on that and was waiting to see what happens, what transpires through the race. But it looks like I think we're going to go green next time around. Yeah, we're going to have one to go coming up here soon. So I know we have a couple drivers wanting to hop in the booth, do a little interview here for a minute. But we'll see if we can pull them in if we get another caution here soon. But hopefully that's not going to be the case. But we'll see. Maybe we can talk to Min Heng or Jared Talmadge coming up here in a little bit. So we're going to go green this time around. So the front of the field hasn't changed too much. The top 4 have been pretty much the consistent here over the past several laps. But going a little bit further back outside of the top 5, Colin T currently sits, Tim Moore sits P6. You've got James Mendez P7. Brad Quall's having himself a great day. That's one he definitely needs if he wants to get into that playoff conversation. He finds himself P7. Then in that would be, yeah, it looks like P7, P9. Then you've got Glass, who is actually Mazzilli, in 9th. Then you've got Imbasiani back in 10th. So here we go, getting ready to go green flag racing. Can we make it more than one lap? We'll have to wait and see. Some patience will definitely help here as we get ready to go green flag racing. Making sure you're in the right gear will also help. And we're off, going across the line here. Jolene can't pull too far ahead there of Isaac Shelley. He gets himself a phenomenal jump there side by side here. The first 2 rows, almost first 3 as Tim Moore tries to pull up alongside. And it looks like Jolene will clear Isaac Shelley coming out of turn 2. Down the backstretch, we see Talmadge alongside Shelley. You've got Sipes trying to force a 3 wide. He runs all the way to the wall. That car getting very tight on entry. It's not really going to cost him too much, thankfully. Tim Moore will slot in behind. So we are still green flag racing here. Looks like we're going single file most of the track. Colin Teague on the inside here of both JT Sipes and Tim Moore. We're side by side a little bit further ahead here. Battle for second as well. A little bit of wobble from Teague, and he saves it. What a save there from the 51 of Colin Teague. Brad Calls has to squeeze in between. And another caution. There it is. So we'll go back and see what brought that one out. So coming around turns 1 and 2. And it was the 21, Corey Rainey, breaking loose, making some contact with Eric O'Connor. And it looked like McQuiggan also got a slight tag in there. Hey, let's go back, look at that again real quick. Do a little bit of different angle here. Yeah, he just got a little tight through the corner. Oh. Unfortunate, but... Let's bring in the 16 here of Jared Talmadge. Let's talk to him real quick and see just how things are going from his perspective. And we've got Jared Talmadge, driver of the 16 here in the booth. And Jared, not the cleanest race here tonight, but you're currently in the lead. How's it feel to be in first place?
We're having fun. So much fun.
Yes, we are. We are having lots of fun right now.
I am dripping from the sweat with how hard I'm driving this car.
I mean, you and Isaac have been having a phenomenal battle up there at the front. Each restart, it's back and forth and back and forth. So you guys, I mean, when you get the racing, it's looking really good. It looks like it's a great battle.
Yeah, the action's over here for, I guess, P1 now, but was P2. I'm just DMing him every single yellow, so, yeah, trying not to get bored.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I really wish we'd get more than 2. Dude, I'd bargain the best I could do right now. I'd bargain for 10 green laps at this point. I mean...
I don't blame you. I feel that. You know what this reminds me of, though?
116. What does it remind you of?
This reminds me, I don't know if you ran Pocono Officials.
I did NIS. Like
yeah. I ended up, when I ran Pocono Officials, I had 12 cautions. I know one of my teammates had 16. It was a little painful at times, but
believe it or not, in my NIS, we went the first 30 laps green, then went green to lap 50, and then had 4 yellows in a row, and then went green to lap 70, and then had another 3. So it wasn't actually half bad.
That wasn't too bad, no. We made it, I think the most I made it in mine was maybe like 6 laps, so it wasn't very many. But
do we know what yellow we're on?
Do I know what yellow?
Yeah, what yellow is this? Do we know the number?
This is 7.
Oh, baby,
so we're gonna
we're
gonna do the next 114 green flag racing. Let's do it, Jared.
No, you gotta look at the track record. We're going for it.
Do it. I'm gonna send you back into the your channel. Good luck here going green. All right, so that was Jarrett, driver of the number 16 there. He's getting ready to take the green flag. He is in the lead for the first time here tonight. Field is in his hands. He's got Isaac Shelley alongside of him. JT Sipes behind, and he gets himself a phenomenal jump. And Isaac going to get a little bit of a tap there from Tim Moore, trying to get him down into turn 1. JT Sipes elects to go all the way to the bottom, all the way to the apron, as he's going to be alongside Isaac Shelley coming out of 2. A little bit of a wiggle there from the 98, a little loose coming out of turn 2. Still straight here down the backstretch, though. As they dive down into turn 3 and 4. JT Sipes trying to get that inside to stick. Can't really go too much there. It's behind. It's a bit of a hornet's nest. Tim Moore gets a little bit of a wiggle. He's side by side with James Mendez, trying to see if he can make that outside stick, but he's trying to see if he can hold on to those tires. As we talked to him, he said he took 4 fresh tires. So he's trying to see if he can play a little bit of a long strategy here. Wiggle there from the 69. Great stop, though. Able to keep that car straight. That allows the 92 of Mendez and the 3 of Martin to get around. And a little bit behind here, Eric O'Connor, Victor Imbasciani side by side. And Luca Mazzilli looking to get into this battle as well. Brad Quall is down on the inside in the 13. And it is quite the cluster as McQuiggan is going to dive all the way to the inside, and he's going to clear 2 drivers as Imbasciani in the wall. And he's going to drop back and almost makes contact with the 20. Actually, I think he made a little bit of contact with McNeil, but they're going to keep this green flag. We're going to keep rolling. So to the wish of the drivers, we are finally green flag racing. As you see right behind here from McQuiggan, side by side, Jolene Sims going to push teammate Victor Imbasciani, Luca Mazzilli into turn 1. It's our teammates here tonight in McGuinness Motorsports. She's trying to see if she can work her way around both him and Qualls, as she gets around Brad Qualls. They're coming out of turn 2. As they come down the backstretch, Colin T gets around as well as McNeil. It looks like he's going to push the outside. Brad Qualls just falling back ever so slightly here each lap. Just can't seem to get the pace out of the car that he had earlier on, but we'll see. There's plenty of race to go. Might be going for a little bit of a save strategy here. Looking back up at the front, though, as you see Imbasciani around the outside of Qualls, and he's gonna be able to make that pass. That moves him up another spot, so that's 13th for him. But going up to the front here, Tolmage has kind of separated himself. He's got himself a 3/4 second gap there with Isaac Shelley. And then you got JT Sipes a little bit behind, and from there it's a big gap all the way back to Mendez, who's got Martin trying to see if he can go side by side into 1. This is the battle for 4th place right now, as Martin tries to see if he can get to the inside. Remember, Jordan Martin is driving here. He's filling in for Jared Newton, so he's earning points for the 25 tonight. They go through turns 3 and 4. Mendez just has a little bit extra pace riding that high line on the exit. Gets that extra momentum. Martin's making that bottom stick really nicely. Just can't seem to match that pace on the front. So you have to compensate with a deeper entry. And you can see he pushes that inside really low. Able to get that outside. Gets around it a little bit in the middle of the corner. Brings it back down to try and maximize that pace on exit. But it just doesn't seem like it's enough at times. He was able to do really well out of turn 2 there. As you can see, mixing it up a little bit. Mendez is more riding that upper lane and then brings it down, but a little bit of a tight exit there from Martin. That's going to force him to have to concede that position and drop back. That is 5th place for him, but that battle is going to continue to go on, so don't expect that to stop anytime soon. A very tight battle for 4th place. Right behind, though, you've got McQuiggan trying to see if he can hold on to 8th place ahead of Jolene Sims. And just a reminder that, Morton sideways coming through 3. Can he hold on to it into the grass? He goes. He's going to be able to save it. He saves it. Wow, what a save there from Jordan Martin. Unfortunate. Running 5th place. Drops all the way back to 14th. But what a save to be able to keep that car straight. Let's take a look real quick again here. Looking on board here from the number 70, the 3. That car, just back tires spin out on him, but he saves that all the way into the grass and keeps us green flag racing. And you know drivers are were nervous about that over the radio. I'm sure they were. But my gosh, what a save by him to keep this green flag. Back up to the front, you've got McQuiggan fighting still with Jolene. Jolene looks like she's being a little bit patient. She doesn't want to push too much. She came in, took full fuel and tires, it appears. So at this point, she's just trying to ride around here, save as much as she can. This is weird from Tim Moore. Even if it were cautions all the way through to halfway, it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to make it on fuel. You're seeing a mix of lines here as we go longer and longer in this run. Some drivers opting for that wider entry like you see from Mendez. You see some trying to dive it lower like we were seeing from Martin. And then you see that diamond strategy. We see both McQuiggan and Sims running that, where they go for that lower entry, ride it up in the middle of the corner to get it to rotate, and then you go for the tighter exit. And oh man, the car really fighting McQuiggan right now. I just saw him wiggle on the exit of 4. Oh, Colin Teague sliding out of 2 there. What a save, though. Keeps that car straight. We are still green flag racing. Looking up at the front, though, this is a battle right now for 3rd, and it is quite the fight we've got going on as Mendez gets into the wall, but that exit carries so much speed. He's able to clear Eric O'Connor. Eric trying to see if he can work his way back up to 3rd, and he has been just phenomenal, charging each and every week. He is one of the most improved drivers, I think, over the course of the season. It has been phenomenal to see the way he has developed across the season. It wasn't the strongest of starts for him, but I think ever since Watkins Glen, where he was really able to show his strength as a road racer, everything has just been going his way. It's been top 5s pretty much consistently, as well as some top 3s. So we'll see if he's going to be able to put up a fight here to get onto the podium again. He's just been kind of patiently waiting here behind the 92, and now lots of cars getting ready to get into this battle, because you can see right behind Jolene Sims around McQuiggan. Now she's waiting to maybe jump on Tim Moore. Going a little bit further back, Min Hang in that very beat up 2 car. Currently finds himself in 11th, holding off Victor Imbassiani in the 35. And then you've got Jordan Martin in the 3, trying to see if he can work his way around. Martin's going to take advantage of a really tight corner there from Imbassiani. That's going to move him up back into 12th, and we'll see if he can continue that charge. He's going to try and get around Min Hang. And also after that, he's got in front of him Luca Mazzilli in the 8 car. Now the question is, it's going to come down to strategy. A lot of drivers did not pit during these cautions. We've had a nice long green flag run so far. Been almost 20 laps green, knock on wood. But if you take a look, oh, that is Mazzilli in the wall. So spots there for Hang and Martin as they move up a position each. That puts Min Hang back into the top 10. Martin has been pretty quick here. He showed he had pace running in the top 5. He's looking like he might be a bit quicker than Min Hang right now in that very beat-up 2 car. But taking a look at the cars that have not stopped here, they didn't come down to top off on fuel, didn't take tires or anything like that. We currently have the top 3 of Talmadge, Shelley, and Sipes. They all still have yet to come down pit road. Looking a little bit further down the order, you also have Mazzilli and England have not come down pit road. The other driver that has not come down would be Brad Quall. So a handful of them not coming through the pits yet. But as we heard from Tim Moore, it seems like it's probably going to have to be at some point here soon. A couple came on lap 34 on that last caution. Jolene Sims, Josh McQuiggan, Jonathan Amodio, and Ryan McKinnon all came down on lap 34. So we'll have to see if they are going to be able to make it to lap 75. It's a big stretch there. Be able to get those cars to last 40 laps on fuel, but I think it might be able to be done there. 50 laps, it's going to be a bit of a stretch. 75, I don't think it's going to happen. Looking further up front, this is quite the battle now going on for 3rd place. Tim Moore has dropped off. Looks like he might have broken loose a little bit on one of the corners, or had some struggle through a corner. Jolene Sims is going to be side by side with Eric O'Connor as they go into turn 1. A little bit of a lock up there from the 74, going to hold him up a little bit, but he's going to be able to get that car to rotate nicely. He's going to get a good exit should pull him ahead of Jolene as they go down the backstretch, but she has great pace on that inside line. She's going to try it again, see if she can make that car really push that inside line. Interesting to see. She's not going for the diamond strategy, but it's working out for her. The question is, and this has always been with Jolene Sims, she doesn't run your typical line. She doesn't do your typical pace style that you see a lot of drivers. It's a lot of push and go for her. We saw Atlanta push that outside. You're looking for pure pace. Get off the main line, see what you can do on the unused line, and it worked out really nicely for her. That's where she got her only win of the season. She's looking for another, has the pace here tonight to be able to do it if she can get back up to the front. It looks like she's going to clear Eric O'Connor and now try and hunt down James Mendez, who's having a phenomenal race for him, for himself. This is 4th place for him. But the leaders, they're currently checked out. Right now, you take a look further ahead. You've got Jared Talmadge in first, Isaac Shelley in second, and then it's quite the gap there, almost 2 seconds back to JT Sipes. That's the top 3. James Mendez is another 4 seconds behind on top of that, so they have really separated themselves, and they're just kind of getting in the groove. They've checked out at this point, and hopefully we'll be able to keep rolling with this one. Currently looking at the battle for 7th place. Tim Moore keeps fighting that inside line. Josh McQuiggan on the outside, and Josh is really struggling every exit. If we take a look, go on board here with the 10 car. And you can just listen as we go on the exit. That time the car pushes, gets on the throttle a little hard. Car pushes a little too much. Gets into the wall. We'll see the big issue turn 2. He gets loose coming over that little hill on the exit. That time able to keep it straight though. Tim Moore on that inside actually falls back a little bit, it seems like. Yeah, Tim just being really, really patient right now back there. He's not really doing too much to try and push the issue. That's the thing about Tim. He's never really an aggressive driver, has to get to the front. He always is more focused on trying to just get the car to the end. Let's play the long game. Not as worried about the short game as he gets nice and close there in the Mozilla Made. It's 69 Chevy. I mean, if we were to pull Tim right now and talk to him, he would probably say, yeah, I'm not happy about the mistake I made that ended me back here. Because he was racing up there. Right now, would be fighting for that P4, P5 spot. Side by side, though, Jolene Sims now working her way around James Mendez for 4th place. Diving to the inside. She has made that inside line work really, really well. But how much is that killing the right front tire? That's the big question. Are we going to start to see that 6 car plow through the corners, through the entries? Because she has to put so much onto the car to get that car onto the inside. As you can see, James Mendez rotates really well through the middle of the corner. Carries a lot of speed, but is it going to be enough to stay ahead of Jolene as they come down the front stretch, still side by side? And it is a phenomenal battling from the 2 of them here. We can take a look on board here. Let's ride on the front of the 74. He has a prime look at this battle. You're on board with Eric O'Connor watching the fight for what is currently 4th place. And Jolene, gets a little slide off the exit. That's going to drop her back behind Eric O'Connor. It actually looks like we're going to be side by side. And it looks like we've got a slow car on track. That is the 8 of Luca Mazzilli. Not sure what had happened there with them, but looks like he's bringing it down pit road. Yeah, it looks like that right front took some damage, and we can take a look at that here in a little bit. A great battle still going on. This is the battle for 4th place. Just back and forth. Jolene Sims, James Mendez trying to see who's going to blink first. Jolene's already back up there fighting for 4th after that slide on the front stretch. They get ready to go down into turn 3. She's going to dive the inside, go a little bit later on the braking. Eric O'Connor, is he going to try and get into this fight as well? He's been waiting. Is his patience up at this point, though? He's done a lot of waiting back there, sitting in 6th place. As Jolene might be able to get it done here through 1 and 2. She had a great run through 3 and 4. Nope, it doesn't look like she's going to be able to get it done. It is just back and forth. Phenomenal battle here down the backstretch, side by side. Still, Jolene dives to the inside. And you can see that big difference coming out from James, where he can carry more speed on the entry. It almost seems like even though he gets the wider exit and is able to get on the throttle more, Jolene has a pretty solid exit in comparison. She almost gains time on him when you would think it would be the outside line. And it looks like maybe the tire's starting to fight her a little bit as the tire wear is going to start setting in really well here. We are going around now lap 67. There's about 30 laps into this run. And we'll see. We talked to Jarrett under the last caution saying, hey, we're going to go 116 or whatever, green flag. I mean, at this point, it kind of feels like that might be true. These drivers doing a much better job. Now the track has really settled underneath them. Eric O'Connor trying different lines. He's trying to see if maybe he can find a gap to get into this fight. He ran pretty high that last time around. He is riding all the way up to the wall. That car just doesn't carry any pace up there. And actually, you can see that's another one of those lines we talked about at the beginning of the race, where you take that wide outside line and then you bring it down about 2 lanes. Trying to carry some extra momentum. He just can't close up enough on Mendez to be able to push him, but Mendez is just phenomenal showing here tonight for the 92. He might be sitting right on the edge of points, back in 9th place in points, but definitely making a case to lock himself into the playoffs here tonight with a strong finish if he can hold this up. JT Sipes down pit road, the first one of the non-pitters to come down, so expect Isaac Shelley, Jared Tallmadge to come down soon. He's going to be taking 4 tires as well as fuel. Opting for the undercut here. It's still a very, very tight battle. They're not side by side anymore. Jolene looks like maybe she's just going to wait here, see if maybe they can capitalize on these guys having to stop under green. Lap 70, we've got 5 more to go until our stage. She's going to push the inside again. Is it going to stick this time? Brings it up. She's got to slow it up. You can see how much slower she had to push the car to get it to rotate. But, oh my gosh, what a run as she goes down the backstretch. She's going to pull ahead slightly. Has to brake early to make that inside corner. But still not enough. She is pulling everything she can out of this car to try and get around Mendez. A little loose on the exit there at turn 4. Just can't seem to get it done as we're getting closer and closer to our stage break. Lap 71 now. 4 more to go until we hit stage. Down on the apron, the 35 of Victor Imbassiani. Down the back stretch again. She's going to try it one more time. Goes a little bit later on the braking this time. Has to really compensate, though, on the exit to be able to... mid-corner to get the car to rotate. Still not going to be able to get a pass done on Mendez. At this point, I think she's better just waiting out. Maybe seeing if she can make move in the pits, because Mendez he's just got that middle line on lock. Nothing she really has been able to do. Holy cow. What happened there with the 35? So let's go take a look here. What happened with Imbassiani? That car just snapped. So he's fresh out of pits on pretty fresh tires. And sent it way too deep. Yeah, that was a really... Don't know why he went so deep in that corner. Yeah, you've got fresh tires. You can send it a little bit deeper, but that was maybe a bit much there from the 35. So unfortunately, that takes any strategy and kind of throws it out the window. I believe we are going to take stage from here. I'm not 100% sure. It looks like maybe. That would be my guess. I can't remember because we usually don't have this situation. We'll go through our mid-race break to show you where everybody is on track here. Once we get settled through the pit stops, we'll get ready to go lap 75. But James Mendez is currently your race leader. That was a great green flag run that we had, though. We went about almost 40 laps there, green flag racing. Okay, so it looks like pit stops are all said and done. Let's take a look here. We got some lap cars coming down pit road, it appears. We'll take a look here. Somebody is shooting a ton of fireworks off outside my house. Kind of an odd time to do in the middle of July, or the end of July. But hey, you do you. Let's take a look. Actually, no, we have more cars coming down pit road, okay? We will wait a little bit longer before we go through our mid-race update. We'll do that here once they come out of the pits. So if you guys are enjoying the race, a little bit of a rough start, but we are back. We were green flag race there. Nice, good, long run. But we, it was quite the run. Well, let's take a look here. Our mid-race break. So first place, the 92 of James Mendez. He has been pretty quick there in that Subway Ford. Second place, Eric O'Connor. Third place would be Tim Moore. Fourth place, Jordan Martin. Actually, never mind. We have more cars coming down pit road, so it's kind of really mixed things up. We will do that. Let's try it again after this. So let's get things re-racked here. It's one to go. All right, there we go. Now that we're all straightened out here, Jordan Martin, now your new race leader, earning points for the 25 of Jared Newton. Isaac Shelley is second place. Jared Talmadge is third. Colin Teague fourth. Ryan Miniker fifth. Jolene Sims sixth. James Mendez seventh. Ooh, I exit there. Tim Moore eighth. Eric Connor ninth. Jonathan Amodio will be looks like 10th. JT Sipes in 9th. Caleb McNeil. Then Joshua McQuiggan. Min Hang. Eric O'Connor in 14th. Brad Qualls 15th. And then you've got Victor Imbasiani 17th. Jimmy Amos 17th. Luca Mazzilli in 18th. Corey Rainey and Fabricio Lamana are out. We're going green flag racing here. That was your mid-race break. And we're green flag racing again here for the Lobster Town 150. Martin, oh my goodness. We see Isaac Shelley go real low all the way to the bottom, almost to the apron to try and get around the 3 car. Not going to get it done there. He's going to be side by side with Jarrett Talmadge, and what a deep entry there as Martin almost gets tagged by Talmadge. 3 wide coming through 3 and 4 as you see Shelley all the way down to the bottom. A little bit of a wiggle there from the 3, but that's the advantage of the fresh tires. The top 3 now all on fresh tires as opposed to Jordan Martin, who was riding around on 50 lap old tires. So Isaac Shelley, your new race leader. Jared Talmadge led the last green flag stint. So it looks like it's Isaac Shelley's turn. Jolene Sims, though, trying to see if she can get an opportunity. Colin Teague, another one of those drivers on fresh tires, came down on lap 73. Lots of drivers, though, in the back here that came down with 1 to go, basically. You've got James Mendez, Tim Moore, Jonathan Amodio, Min Hang, Eric O'Connor, Caleb McNeil. They all came down with about 1 to go, so they've got slightly fresher, slightly more fuel. It's really not much of a difference. The fuel might give them an extra lap, maybe. We'll see how that's going to hold up as we go throughout the race. Out of that last stint, I mean, Talmadge led. He was the race leader. Shelley was matching him pretty quickly. You go back up to the front. This is side-by-side for second place. You've got Jolene Sims on the inside, Jared Talmadge on the outside. As Shelley gets a little loose there, and that's going to cause him to fall back 3 wide as they go into 3 and 4. And interesting to see Talmadge. He always elects to go all the way to the bottom if he gets an option. I guess he just feels more comfortable. There's not a ton of grip down there. There's not a lot of pace unless you really know how to run it. You can see when he gets to open air and he gets more room, he opts for more of a middle line there to come around 1 and 2. Jolene Sims not giving up an inch here, looking very reminiscent to her battle with James Mendez. She's going to send it really deep all the way to the inside. It's going to cause her to wash up a little bit. Will that give her enough pace here on the exit, though, to get around Talmadge? It looks like Talmadge is going to still be there, as she nearly cleared him on the exit, but throughout the front stretch, because he had that momentum on the exit, he was able to pull up alongside of her. So as I come down into 3 and 4, you can see her just really fighting the car. You can see the shifting going on inside. A lot of these drivers shifting from 5th to 4th gear through the entry. That helps rotate the car. We can actually take a ride on board here. Let's go from the cockpit here of these. Since he's just around, let's take a look on board here from the 16 car. This is Jared Talmadge. You can see 4th gear shifts up to 5th right before the entry. Shifts down. And the thing about these cup cars, the next gen cup cars, you utilize some engine braking. So some drivers you'll see brake early, some we might see brake a little bit into the entry. And that's where, right there, as soon as he hits the brakes, shifts down. It helps slow the car down, will help you get in the corner a little bit more. And we can even take a look here on board with Jolene Sims. She's starting to pull away a little bit here from Jared Talmadge. She brakes right away, but it's a lot more, you can see steering a lot more fine here. Has to do a lot of small adjustments going through the corner. Keep the car straight. Gets out on exit. She's trying to gain on the race leader, Isaac Shelley. Going a little bit further back, Jonathan Amodio alongside Min Hang. Min Hang, that car is still beat up. It looks like he got the right fender back. I don't know how he got that. They must have gone out and they found it somewhere on track or something, but that car almost sliding out of turn 2. Makes that pass for what is now 8th place. He's going to try and hunt down Tim Moore and see if he can work his way back to the top 5. Jordan Martin, Tim Moore coming down the front stretch, though, currently fighting for 6th place. Brad Qualls right in front, but he is a lap down. JT Sipes is currently the top 5. He is about a second and a half up the road from these two. Tim Moore on the freshest tires out of these two, though. And I'm not 100% sure what the strategy was from Jordan Martin. He stayed out, maybe just to lead the lap, but those tires very, very old at this point. So it's an interesting call. And you can kind of see if we look here from... Honestly, we could look here. Let's start from... We'll go from 5th place. You can take a look at when we came down pit road. From Sipes on down, and there's Imbassiani on the inside. He loses it, but we're still green flag. Since it is off track, you can just see he has taken those tires much, much further. Now, I think they really can go. But we'll see. Maybe that strategy call will pay out. He still finds himself in a great spot. He's in 7th, but is slowly dropping back here to Min Hang. Jolene Sims getting ever closer to try and push for the race lead. Now she's going to try and see if she can make a move. She keeps looking to that inside. We haven't really seen her run the outside here tonight. Shelley has the line preference, but we've seen Talmadge do well on that outside line when he goes for passes. She's almost there. The question is, the longer we go, the patience is going to start to wear thin. Is she going to maybe use the bumper. If you watch the Superstar Racing Experience, the SRX on Thursday nights for Thursday Night Thunder, you'll see lots of those drivers after long battles trying to see if you can find a gap, things like that. Bumper typically comes out and they try and just make a move. And it's similar to what you see Jolene kind of setting up, where she looks to the inside. She gets right on that wheel, gives a little tap. It doesn't turn the car around. It'll just push the car up the track a little bit. Have to make them adjust. It'll cost them some speed, and it gives you the inside line. So we'll see what the strategy is. I mean, you give a bump on this through the corner. Those cars, because they're transferring weight, get so light, it's going to turn very, very easy. And we've seen several drivers have issues with that tonight early on in the race. And now that we've got things rolling quite a while here again, 60 to go. A three-way battle for the lead right now. From first to third, it's only a half second, and Jerry Tolmage kind of licking his lips here, waiting for a mistake to come from one or both drivers in front of him. But looking a little bit further back, you've got side-by-side battle here between Josh McQuiggan and Eric O'Connor. With Jonathan Amodio right behind, but O'Connor unfortunately got caught up in the last incident. You can see that car beat up a little bit. He's already had to come down for repairs once before, had to do it again, and the yellow flag is out. That is going to be, I think, Caleb McNeil getting at least caught up in that. I'm not sure who it was that brought out the caution. Let's take a look. So McNeil already some damage on that right front, so maybe that was pre-existing, but let's see here. He's got Victor Mbasiani behind in the 35. And yeah, he sends it real deep. Tags at 20, and hopefully that is not his day, but that's some pretty strong damage he sustained at a pretty good speed there from the 20 car. And it looks like that is the 35's day as he brings it down to pit road. So now, question comes down to, we're going to have a change in strategy. Because, I mean, you look at everything on track here. We've got less than 60 to go. When we go green, it'll probably be, I would say, 55, 54 laps of racing if we go green all the way. You're on the lead lap. I'm assuming we're going to see everybody down pit road. And an interesting call here from James Mendez. Oh, he finds himself a lap down. I did not realize he was a lap down. My fault. So, yeah, everybody that is on the lead lap coming down, the top 11 all will come down. Probably take 4 tires and fuel. Yeah, we see everybody coming down. We'll see the race off pit road. Isaac Shelley led everybody in. He's going to lead everybody off with Jolene Sims, Jared Tolmage coming out. So nothing changing here in the top 3. JT Sipes falls out in 4th. Tim Moore in 5th. So no changes here really across the top. Ryan Miniker comes out. Looks like we'll be 10th. Min Hang looks like he's going to be doing some damage repair. So while we have a little bit of time here, let's go ahead and pull, because I think we'll be going green 2 times around. Let's go ahead and bring Min Hang in. So we've got Min Hang here in the booth, driver of the number 2 car for McGinnis Motorsports. And Min, do you have a copy?
I do.
All right. So Min, unfortunately, right now, not the best of races for you. You've been caught up in a lot of stuff. But how is it looking from your perspective? You're still on the lead lap at least. Currently find yourself in 12th. You've got a fast car. What's going on in the car for you? You've got less than 55 to go once we go green.
Yeah, I need them to wreck more. I thought the racing was great in the beginning with all them cautions. Gave me the opportunity to repair the car for 30 seconds every caution, so I need them to wreck more. Wink, wink. So, but yeah, I mean, the car drove like really bad. Like the wheel was 45 degrees to the left, wouldn't drive straight. Right front was completely off, but I was still passing cars. And I was like, okay, if I can pass cars, then maybe I shouldn't leave the game yet. And now we are only under a minute in optional repairs, and the car drives decent. So I mean, we were running in the top, what was it, 7th or 6th there. So
Yeah, you were making
we
some
still
good
salvaged
progress.
something.
So
Yeah.
it's been a good run at least to try and salvage something out of this. But looks like we're going 1 to green next time, right?
Yes, sir. This is 1 to green.
All right. But yeah, hey, best of luck to you. It's been a rough race, but hey, you've got yourself pretty much locked into the playoffs. It looks like you're in a good spot. So a rough race, unfortunately. We'll see how the rest of the race goes. Still plenty of time for you to be able to bring this car around. And like you said, it's looking a lot better. Your crew at least found the right front, so they put that back on the car. So it's coming along.
Yes, sir. Just practicing perseverance. It's
All right,
a
well,
personal thing.
Well, good luck. We hope to see you get a strong finish here. Still plenty of time for you to make it back.
Yes, sir. See you on the podium.
All right, we hope to see you there. That was Min-Heng, driver of the number 2 there from McGuinness Motorsports. Not the best of races for him. Been caught up in a lot of stuff, but he's hoping to make a push from 12th place. Plenty of time to be able to do that. Sorry, 11th place. Green flag racing as Isaac Shelley is bobbing and weaving the entire way to the green. Maybe created a little bit of confusion there for Jolene Sims trying to time that, but that's going to allow... Oh my goodness, Jolene sideways as she gets up into the wall. And that was unfortunate for her. I don't know if she got a tap or if it was just the cold tires pushing a bit too hard. Well, let's go take a peek here. It looks like JT Sipes might have also gotten tagged in that. Taking a look from Jolene here. Let's get a different angle here so you can get a better look of it. There she goes in. Yeah, the car just cold tires didn't want to cooperate. They end up snapping. And then we saw Sipes. What happened to him? Oh my, he got, it almost looks like he got spun on the backstretch. Let's go back here and see what happened on the backstretch, because he was fine around 1 and 2. Didn't get hit by Jolene at all. Oh, he just got loose on the exit and got a little bit of extra help. So unfortunate for both of those drivers. Jolene has already had to drive from the back to the front once. Gonna have to do it again. Min-Heng got his wish, but it came at the expense of his teammate. So I don't know if he's gonna be happy about that. We're gonna have to wait and see if what the case is there, because I don't know. I mean, yes, he gets to repair the damage that he wants to get repaired, but it also is at the risk of his teammate, who was running really well and was able to at least recover from a mistake earlier on. Not a mistake, but getting caught up in stuff earlier on. So we'll see if she's going to be able to work her way back up. But Min-Heng's probably going to be able to get most of that car repaired at this point now with having that minute of damage. So he gets his wish at least. I'm sure he's ecstatic about that. Yeah, Jolene popping into the chat says, just push too hard through turn 1. Yeah, that's kind of what it's thinking. It's what it looked like. Those cold tires just didn't want to stick yet. And so you see the car snap coming on the exit, or coming through the mid corner. Sorry, not through the exit. And once this car snaps, especially on cold tires, there's really like nothing you can do to try and save it. Looks like she's got her fast repair because she came through, got it repaired, back on track. Yeah, it's just been a rough race, unfortunately. But Jolene, you've been racing really, really well. I think we're going to see you make a charge to the field yet again. We should be going 1 to green this next time around. We're going to be less than 50 to go. It'll be 49 laps of hopeful green flag racing. Your top 5 right now: Isaac Shelley, Jared Talmadge, Tim Moore, Josh McQuiggan, and Colin Teague. So Colin Teague having himself a pretty good day, trying to see if he can make a push for the playoffs. He's on the outside looking in right now, but a couple good points days will definitely gain him an opportunity to at least compete to get into the wild card. But it's a tough fight because he's a little bit further out. Going back and looking at the points totals, he currently sits 101 points out of the cut line. So he needs a lot of help to be able to get up there. And a good finish here will at least get him started that way. getting ready to go green flag racing. Field is going to start on Isaac Shelley. Jared Tolman's going to see if he can try and get to the front again. This has been a battle back and forth for who can lead this race. It's been really good fighting from the two of them. Tim Moore and McQuiggan are going to see if they can keep up this time, because every time we go green, these two just pull away from the field. But we're going to go turn off the mic and kick up the sound here and give you guys the sights and sounds of New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Well, it looks like we might have a new race leader. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the sights and sounds of New Hampshire Motor Speedway. But Isaac Shelley is, there he is. He is back on track. Sometimes I wish I broadcasted the driver chat to you guys, but I hope you can understand as to why I don't. Sometimes there are things that are said that are not appropriate for the broadcast, but my goodness, I wish you guys could have heard Tim Moore singing over the radio about Isaac Shelley's connection. There was a mix of songs in there. If Tim gets on the radio, maybe we'll have to see if we can get a recreation. That was absolutely hysterical to hear over the driver radio. But you saw a couple drivers have some trouble there for grip. We saw Josh McQuiggan there. McQuiggan, sorry. I will get that pronunciation right eventually there, Josh, so I apologize for butchering your name tonight. He is struggling for grip throughout the early run here. Another driver that was struggling there, we saw the 48 of Ryan Miniker while we were on board of him during the sights and sounds. He got loose around turn 2, had quite the save though to keep that car straight. And now taking a look, got a battle going on for what is P6, JT Sipes. Holding on to that position, as you see Colin Teague trying to get in there, and McQuiggan still, you can see just off in the distance, that car either doesn't want to stick or doesn't want to rotate. It can't decide. It's very unpredictable right now for the 10 car. That's not what you want out of the car. Three-way battle for the podium spot to get to third place. Eric O'Connor currently owns the spot. Tim Moore is just going to easily concede that to Jolene Sims. It looks like it's going to allow JT Sipes a little bit of an opportunity to get in there. But Tim Moore's going to try and set up something off the corner here as he goes for a tight exit. He's going to try and maybe carry some momentum here behind Jolene Sims. Peeks to the inside, decides, nope, not going to try and go down to the inside through 1 and 2 as he's just going to ride behind here, the 6 car. He's got JT Sipes behind, another really fast driver as he slides out of the exit. And JT Sipes is going to hold it together. now side by side with Colin Teague, and my goodness, it's like a slip and slide out here on track. Drivers just loose all over the place. You see Sipes run really tight through the corner. The entry just did not want to get in. Almost seemed like it went sideways a little bit. But what a save there from the 81 as we stay green flag racing, and across the line that time we are 40 to go. Looking back up to the front, it is a 2-horse race right now, just as we kind of expected here. Shelley and Talmadge have separated themselves by almost 2 seconds to the rest of the field at this point. And I wonder if the strategy at this point, because we heard Jared talk about how him and Shelley are talking back and forth here through those early cautions. I wonder if the communication between the two of them was, hey, we're just going to just not fight each other right now. Let's separate ourselves, get some green flag running. We'll fight later when it's closer to the end or whatever. Or we'll rotate something. We'll figure out a way to make it equal for each of us to have a chance to lead. It's kind of what it seemed like that first long green flag run was Jared. He was in the lead. Now we've seen Shelley ever since be up front. So I don't know if that's what happened. I'm just speculating there, but that's kind of what it seems like right now. But looking further behind here, Jolene Sims, Eric O'Connor is starting to pull away from Tim Morris. Tim just doesn't seem to have the pace, and he talked about that earlier on. He just doesn't have as fast of a car, but he's going to see if he can play the strategy game. But right now, strategy, I don't know, is going to be too much of an issue, as they're going to be going only about 50 to 60 laps on fuel, which I think they can be able to do based on what we saw in the first stint. Jolene has worked her way around Eric O'Connor, and she's going to try and pull away. Has a lot of time to gain, though, if she wants to catch up to the top two. She's got over 2 seconds to try and hunt them down. Still lots of time. That's a long way to go to get there. That is for sure. She's already pulling away from Eric O'Connor behind, though. So maybe it's going to be possible for her. She's got a lot of really good pace there right now in that 6 car. Looking a little bit further back, Min Hang, hey, look at that 2 car. It is fully put back together. It doesn't look any resemblance of damage. But you can see again that 10 really just struggling on the exit there from McQuiggan. He slides it on the exit. Gonna have to really push that entry, gets it down, and you can see that car rotates, but that back end kicks out a little bit each and every time through the mid corner. That causes it to get a little bit heated up. Those tires get really slick then on the exit, and that's what causes them to slide on the exits. Minhang doing a really good job hooking that bottom line. You can see maybe McQuiggan trying to see if he can follow that line a little bit. Oh my gosh, really hard into the wall. And you can see Brad Qualls behind getting loose. But McQuiggan, that might be some wheel damage as well. It's kind of hard to tell. That right front definitely took a hit. Riding on board, we'll see if there is going to be some damage. He's still fighting that wheel really, really hard. Keeps the wheel straight though. So no wheel damage for him, thankfully. It's a little bit of a blessing in disguise. But a good 4-way fight here right now for 6th place. Tim Moore currently rounds out the top 5, and they're trying to hunt him down, but they've got a 2.5 to go. The JT Sipes trying to see if he can hold that line. Jordan Martin had a lot of pace earlier on, and he's kind of looking for opportunities to work around here, the 81, but he can't seem to get that run off the corner with enough pace. He hooks the little corners really, really well. Gets a decent run, but just can't get to the inside for the entry. That seems to be the issue here right now for Martin. As they go down into 1 and 2, he takes a peek down to the inside, just can't seem to get that car down there. That's whenever Sipes gets that run off, and that's where he gets that slight, just ever so slight advantage. Taking a look on board here with the 3 car. You hear Martin really having to hold up there as he goes through the exit to keep that car from sliding, but they have slowly brought in Tim Moore. Moore now about a second away. Sipes is kind of licking his lips here to get back to the top 5. He's got a fast car. He's got some strong pace and is hoping to be able to make that move, but you can see there, it sends it deep into turn 3. Washes that car real far up, and while he can carry some pace doing that, have to be careful doing it because it's going to kill that right front tire to push it all the way out. and then have to force it all the way back down. A little bit further back, you've got James Mendez going with Miniker here. And it's been an unfortunate day here for Mendez. He had a phenomenal run, found himself up to first place at one point, but then caught up in some incidents, now all the way back to 13th. He currently finds himself a lap down, so we'll see. He's going to try and see if he can get that Lucky Dog spot. Has a little bit longer to go, I think, to get to Lucky Dog. Actually, no, he is on the lead lap. My apologies. But we'll see how he goes from here. He's been fighting really hard. He's got one of the faster cars on track. So we'll see if he can at least make up some ground here. I mean, he's definitely hoping for a caution at this point because they are 7 seconds back from the rest of the field. Battle for first, though. Talmadge and Shelley side by side, making contact into one. And that's going to be Shelley's position to lose, it looks like, coming through turn 2. Talmadge rotates the car beautifully, gets a lot of exit speed, but Shelley is still there on the inside. He's going to brake a little bit earlier. Doesn't want to get into him and cause a wreck there coming into turn 3. So a slight adjustment there from Shelley, but a new race leader in Jarrett Talmadge. So Isaac Shelley going to try and see if he can hunt him back down, but Talmadge just has phenomenal speed right now. Has done a really good job saving his stuff. So we'll see if he can continue making that climb, making that push. Taking a look here back with battle for third place. Jolene Sims been caught up a little bit by Eric O'Connor. Eric is trying to see if he can get back to that third. He has been fighting tooth and nail, but Jolene Sims has shown she has one of the fastest cars on track here tonight. Just hasn't had the best of luck at this point. It almost seems like McGinnis Motorsports, just anytime they get up, they get knocked back down again. But ain't nothing gonna keep them down, as Jolene Sims still holding on to third place through turns 1 and 2. O'Connor trying to see if he can get the outside line to work. Several drivers have showed that if they can get that outside line to stick, they're going to work. It's going to work out for them pretty well, because she hasn't been able to really pass anybody on the inside late in the run. That's not to say it's not possible, but I mean, you never know. We'll see what Eric O'Connor can do. He's trying different lines. He's been mixing it up really the past couple laps. Just nothing really seeming to work out for him here. Is again trying that outside line. This is going to take that wide middle and then bring it back down. Trying to see what he can do there on the exit. Another battle here for position is the battle for 9th place. Brad Qualls, after being a lap down, got his way back onto the lead lap in the Dr. Pepper Cherry machine. He's currently battling Jonathan Amodio in the M&M's car there. And Amodio is another one of those drivers, needs a good points day. A good points day is going to help him lock his spot into the playoffs, but that's going to be, right now he's sitting in 10th. So it's not the worst spot to be. It just hasn't really been his race. He's been really fighting a lot of issues with just being around a lot of incidents on track. You can see that car. Not the cleanest. The sides beat up a good bit. Just been involved with a lot of things. And Brad Quall is doing a really good job. Just consistent pace here right now. Holding Amodio behind him. You can see Jonathan. Same thing we saw with Eric. Looking all sorts of different ways and just can't seem to work his way around. As the tires set in, passing becomes harder and harder. And don't be surprised if some of these drivers desperate to make moves start to get a little bumpy and try and see if they can get physical with the cars around them to try and bring out a bump and run move. You see Amodio go to the inside on Qualls, and that should be a clean pass for him. That is up to 9th spot for Jonathan Amodio. Back up to the front, though, Eric O'Connor. Trying time and time again. He keeps bringing that gap pretty close. Just can't seem to get along with her as he slides out of 2. But he's going to be able to keep that car straight. That's going to create a pretty sizable gap right now. Still plenty of time for him to make moves, though. We are down to our last 21 laps here as Talmadge crossed the line. And Shelley's still in distance there. He is about half second behind Talmadge. But the gap hasn't changed really since Talmadge made that pass. Once he made a round, it's kind of been pretty steady. Now, the question is, do these guys have enough fuel to make it around? That's going to be the big question. Some drivers probably playing the fuel game. One of those drivers I would expect being the driver of the 69 car. He always seems to play strategy. Tim Moore currently finds himself riding around in 5th. So holding on to a top 5 for himself. Going to hold on to its points lead through tonight, I would assume. He's got himself a pretty good gap in the points. But he is looking for his first win. I mean, if he can play the strategy, if other drivers do need to stop, and he's able to save enough fuel around these corners, that's a free spot for him. Maybe 2, maybe even first place. We'll have to see what's going to happen, though, as we go throughout this run. Still quite a while to go. As JT Sipes and McQuiggan both came down pit road. It looks like JT Sipes is done for the day. So Eric O'Connor trying to go outside of Jolene Sims, almost pulling up alongside of her. He is trying so hard to get that car out there, pushing it really tight. And you can see even on the exit there, car breaking a little loose. But she's got that inside line on lock. He's even opening up the corner a little bit more, riding up an extra lane. Still not getting anything out of the car there. Just does not want to get that extra momentum out of it. He's trying everything he can, trying different lines, trying some different techniques. That car just does not want to work its way around Jolene Sims right now. With 17 laps to go, we are closing in on the end of this race very, very quickly. And really only a couple battles going on as Eric O'Connor goes real late on the braking there. Almost gets into Jolene Sims. Pushes the car a little too much on the exit, causes him to get loose. And so he's going to have to set this all up once again. But as I was saying, the only battles going on track right now, and the only ones that are within a half second of each other, or was a half second of each other, were the battle for the lead between Jared Talmadge and Isaac Shelley, and the one we were just looking at between Jolene Sims and Eric O'Connor. But as these drivers continue to battle it out here and the laps continue to tick away, we have two more regular season races after tonight before we get set for our 12 driver playoff. As a reminder, next week we go to Long Beach. We head out west for the road course. It's going to be really cool in these cars. Never seen a street circuit like that. Well, no, I apologize. We've done Chicago, but never seen these cars on Long Beach. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they drive, how these drivers adapt to really tight corners. For some of these drivers, their first time driving a street course in a stock car. After that, to round out the regular season, we head to Las Vegas. So Vegas is going to be a really interesting race because it's a much wider, more open track, similar to, say, Kansas. That's going to suit some different drivers, much different ways. That's going to be quite aggressive because you have a lot of drivers trying to see if they can make that last mad dash for the playoffs. But as the laps tick away, Jared Talmadge just seems to be getting faster and faster, losing Isaac Shelley behind. Eric O'Connor still has not given up this fight with Jolene. He wants to get on that podium. OCM right now does not have a driver in the top 3, so it would be a little bit of a down day for them, but they do have 4 or 5. That is a plus still. But Eric is pushing everything he has out of this car to try and keep up with Jolene, try and see if he can set up a move, but nothing seems to be working as they go around these corners. As a reminder, drivers that are currently on the outside looking in, you've got the 35 of Kyle England. You've got the 48 of Ryan Miniker. The 25 of Jared Newton and the 13 of Brad Qualls are your first 4 out, trying to look if they can get in. Your first 4 in right now are JT Sipes in the wild card spot, Kevin Arguelles, who unfortunately is not here tonight, then Tyler Glass and James Mendez. So that is your playoff line and where everybody sits for those trying to make the cut. And Eric O'Connor loose on the exit, pushes the car a little too much, trying to see if he can get a little bit of a run on Jolene, saves the car. The tire is going to be a little bit angry with him now as he comes around. Going to have to nurse those tires for a few laps to get him to cool down. That pretty much throws away his chance at third place unless Jolene makes a big mistake. But this time around, 10 to go for Jared Talmadge as he takes the 10 to go sign there. Getting closer and closer to the finish. It was a rough start here tonight. Lots of cautions, lots of mistakes being made. But then we got it together, got a long green flag run, and we have a nice long one here to hopefully finish out this race. Right now, just 11 drivers on the lead lap. You've got Ryan Miniker right in front of Talmadge here in the 48. Now it looks like he's going to fall behind. Yep, there it is. He goes a lap down. So now the top 10 currently on the lead lap, as you see. The rest of the top 3 fall in line with Eric Miniker trying to see if he can get back in this fight with Jolene, but it's almost a bit too far. We'll have to see. We'll keep track there as we come around the backstretch. By the way, if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing here tonight, make sure you join us Tuesday. Oh my! Eric O'Connor gets really tight through turn 4. Gets into the wall there. But if you guys are enjoying the racing, make sure you join us on Tuesday evenings. Tuesday evenings, we have the American Motorsports Association late model stock cars. They go around the short tracks around the East Coast. And it's been some really exciting racing through our first 3 races. And they actually just got a title sponsor. So it's now the AMA EPI late model stock series. So make sure you guys join us for that, because it's going to be some really exciting racing going forward, because that series just continues to grow and grow. But it looks like, it almost seems like we're going to be able to make it to the end without pit stops having to come out. It's going to be mighty close, because it seemed like most of the drivers are going to be able to go about 50 laps or so. We're going to be right on that number, it seems like. I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Talmadge runs out of fuel on the victory lap. But as we come around turns 1 and 2, he's got himself a 2-second lead. Eric O'Connor will check back in with him. Jolene Sims holds on to that spot right now by about 2/3 of a second, and it doesn't seem like that gap has been really closing too much. I mean, Eric last lap was able to close up a little bit, but it just seems like Jolene is just kind of in the zone right now, just running her laps at this point. Eric has to really push if he's going to try and get back, because time is starting to run out with now 5 to go. I will say, given all the issues she had to deal with throughout the day, I mean, she came from the back to the front through the field twice, got involved in an incident, she had her own self-spin. It's been a rough day for Jolene, but she definitely has done a really good job to get back up onto the podium, but now has to fight for the last 4 laps against Eric O'Connor, who is right on her tail. He's closed this gap in just a couple of laps down to less than 2/10. But we saw earlier, Eric was struggling to find a way to pass, but now a sense of urgency here. We're going to be 3 across the line. Very tight battle for a podium spot, as he's going to maybe put the bumper to her. Looks to the inside. She opens up a little bit too much. It's not going to be a run there for Eric, so he has to settle in behind again. On board here with Jolene. Eric's going to look to the outside and then see if he can hook it back down. He's going to get the run. Is it going to be enough to get to the inside of Jolene, though? No, it won't be, as we're going to come around. Jared Talmadge gets the popsicle sticks from Barney the Flagman. It's going to be a 2 to go for the race leader. Onto the outside, Eric O'Connor tries it again. Can't get that move to stick. He is looking over in the left, over on the right. Just can't seem to find a lane. They come across the line. You're on board with Eric O'Connor now. Taking a look to the outside. He's going to get right behind her. Will he put the bumper to her? Does not. Thinks about it. Gets up there. Almost gives a nudge, but is going to ride in behind. White flag is going to be out this time around. Jared Talmadge around turn 3 and 4. White flag going to be waving for Barney the Flagman, and once he comes across the line, it will be official. Eric O'Connor still fighting for 3rd place. Can he get around Jolene on this final lap? White flag, the race is official here for the Lobster Town 150 as they go into turn 1. Jolene Sims brakes a lot harder there than Eric O'Connor. Eric going around the outside. Can he get the move done? Doesn't get it. Gonna see if he can carry some momentum here. Gets a little looser, so does Jolene. That's gonna benefit him. He might be able to make a move if he can go late on the braking into 3. Goes really aggressive. Doesn't get into the back bumper there of Jolene. Checker flag is out. Your race winner is going to be Jared Talmadge. Isaac Shelley in 2nd. The battle for 3rd is tight. And Jolene looks like she's got it locked down. She's going to be on the podium. Eric O'Connor falls in line in 4th place. For as much as he fought that car, what a run to be able to come back on her. He fell almost a second behind her, pushed the car like crazy, and was able to make the most of a bad situation. Almost got that move done. What a battle, though, with Jolene coming around to the end there. Phenomenal racing, though. Jared Talmadge gets the win. And let's go take a look here at your final results for tonight's race. So, taking a look here through the field, your race winner, Jared Talmadge. Then in 2nd place, we had Isaac Shelley by about 2.5 seconds. 3rd place, Jolene Sims, just barely edging out Eric O'Connor. Tim Moore rounds out the top 5, and yeah, Tim Moore, he said he didn't have the pace. Hey, he wasn't lying. He ended up falling back about 7 seconds from Eric O'Connor and Jolene Sims. Jordan Martin coming in, filling in for Jared Newton, the 25 machine. He ends up getting a solid 6th place. Colin Teague finds himself in 7th. Min Hang, just doing the best he can with a beat-up car there, ends up finishing in 8th. Jonathan Amodio in 9th. And then James Mendez works his way back up to a 10th place. Ryan Miniker in 11th, the first car a lap down. Brad Qualls in 12th. Luca Mazzilli in the 8 car for Tyler Glass in 13th. Josh McQuiggan in 14th. He's earning points for Drew Jua tonight. JT Sipes, unfortunately, goes back to 15th. Victor Imbassiani, filling in for Kyle England, is 16th. Jimmy Amos in 17th. Caleb McNeil in 18th. And rounding out our field tonight is Corey Rainey in 19th and Fabricio Lamana not taking the field. Those are your points after those final standings for tonight. We'll go ahead and get our top 3 in here for some interviews. We've talked to them quite a bit throughout the season, some regular drivers up here, but let's bring in first the driver of the number 6 car. An insane battle there with Eric Connor at the end. We have Jolene Sims, and Jolene, congratulations on that 3rd place, and my goodness, you really had to defend. Oh, Jolene, do we have a copy?
Yeah, sorry, my microphone didn't work, or my audio didn't work. I just turned it on. I can hear you now.
There you go. I was just saying, congratulations on 3rd place, and my gosh, that was quite the fight you had with Eric at the end.
Man, yeah, that was the most up and down day I've ever had. You know, before, I'd say, with 30 laps to go, when I was battling with Ike Shelley for the lead, I was getting so frustrated, battling with these guys, too wide, because you could never really break even or, get ahead of somebody without, having to run them up the track, and I didn't want to do that. With 70 or 60 laps to go or so, I thought I had the fastest car. And then, with that restart, man, I don't know what to say. It's really ashamed because, oh man, you know, when you're a third in line and like you feel like you have the fastest car, you just like you think you need to push on these restarts because the best chance you have to get to the front, and you know, just cooked it too hard into one, and like as soon as I got into the entry, I knew it was over because the car just started sliding and turned the wheel more and more. It didn't like try and correct, and then at the last second it switched back on me and right into the wall. But
yeah, there's really not much you can do with these cars once they break loose. It's you, especially on the cold tires, you're along for the ride at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, tonight, I mean, like you said it perfectly. It was a tough night, but you came through the field twice to be able to get back up to third place. And I know you would have liked to have better. You had a strong car at the beginning, but then getting caught up in all the different incidents, you had a phenomenal run. But looking throughout the rest of the season, I mean, you're into the playoffs at this point. I think it's pretty much a given. But looking through the playoffs, I mean, we've got a wide mix of a schedule. You've got super speedway, you've got intermediate, you've got some short track, some road course. How do you expect to perform throughout the first playoffs here on iRacing for the VRC?
I if it's anything like I've had so far, I feel like I'll be pretty good. But I've never done a league in iRacing before. I've never experienced the playoffs or anything like that, so it's going to be a new thing for me. I think for short tracks, I think we have Richmond next as a short track. Iowa, yeah, Iowa and New Hampshire. I'd say they're sort of similar. So to have speed here and let a bunch of laps at Iowa, I sure hope Richmond's going to be good. Cookie cutters have been really great for me. Super speedways, I think I've led a few or a bunch, but you know, and never able to get it out at the end. And then road courses, wasn't good at the Glen earlier this season, but Road America was much better. So I think I'll be real good.
Well, I'm excited to see how things go next week at Long Beach for you. Before we have you head on out, anybody you would like to thank? Anything else you would like to say?
Oh man, I forgot we had Long Beach next week. Oh my goodness,
It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, I thought, oh my goodness, I forgot we even had that. I thought we had Charlotte Roval next as a road course, but man, okay. Just happy to be able to come back from that, and you know, I'm happy Tim and O'Connor gave me some breaks there because I'm trying to defend as best as possible with 10 to go. You know, you're just going with all you got, and sort of ran them up the racetrack a little bit, but it seems like everything's fine. You know, just happy to recover. I think like this entire season I've only had one podium, and that's when I won. So to come back and finally get a one that's not a win, that's great. But thanks for broadcasting, of course. This is one of the ones I was watching my phone while we were under caution for like 40 laps. It was, yeah. A lot of fun. Yeah.
Congratulations to third place, and it's a pleasure to have you back up here in the booth, and we'll see how you fare next week at Long Beach. It's going to be quite the interesting race, I feel like.
All right, thanks.
All right, so that was Jolene, driver of the number 6 car. Now we've got the second place finisher for tonight, the number 98, Isaac Shelley. And Isaac, you were leading there for quite a while. It looked very good for you, and then all of a sudden, Jared just pulled out an unreal pace, it seemed like.
Yeah, definitely. I think me and Jarrett were definitely the two fastest cars tonight. Just clean air was so important. It was crucial to have clean air to control, the race. And I got a little high off for the one lap, tagged the wall, and he was able to get my inside, and he was able to clear me about 2 laps later. And that's ultimately, how he won the race, because I think we were pretty even. I think I had a little bit better short run speed, and he had a little bit better long run speed. But I think over the course of a run, we were pretty even. And I was pushing all I could push there once he got around me to get back around him. And I just burnt my stuff up. And then, yeah, like you said, he just able to pull the gap and win.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good racing between the two. And he said earlier, I pulled him into the booth. He said that you guys were messaging back and forth throughout the cautions early on. I can only assume what you guys were saying, but it seemed like the strategy was like, hey, let's just pull away for a little bit, and then we can race each other. Because then once you guys got like a second or so away, then you guys started pushing each other a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we've raced each other here before. We both know that we're both really good at this track. So I didn't think it'd be just really us two. I think if a couple guys didn't get taken out in some wrecks, they probably would have been up there. But I think we were definitely gonna settle it between the two of us regardless. I think. Just yeah, I think once we had that gap, we just started to push a little harder and lean on each other a little more. And I hope it was exciting. It was definitely exciting from my point of view. But yeah, it was just fun race in general.
Yeah, it was. I mean, once we got to the beginning, there was some really good racing. You guys did a really, really good job. Just unfortunately, couldn't get you in victory lane again tonight. I was hoping, I was rooting for you there, but we'll see. Maybe next week or maybe when we go to Vegas. But before we have you head on out, anything you would like to say? Anybody you would like to thank?
Oh yeah, congrats to Jarrett. Good win. He's been cooking pretty good this season. So Eddie, Tim, everybody who makes this show go on. Like you said, we had a rocky start to the race. I guess that's an understatement, but still a fun race. I hope we come back here next season. I think we proved we can have good racing here if we just everyone keeps their cool and gets their act together. Thank you, man, for continuing to broadcast these races. Help grow our league. So that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Isaac, for joining me here in the booth. And hopefully next time we have you up here, it's for a victory instead of a second place.
Yeah, man, I hope so. Thank you.
No problem. We'll talk to you later. So now we're going to bring in our race winner. He actually, back-to-back driver of the 16, Jarrett Talmadge. And Jarrett, you are hitting your stride just at the right time for the playoffs. Oh, do we have a copy with you, Jarrett? We talked to you earlier. He might have had to run. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let's see if maybe he had to step away for a moment. We'll see if we get an answer here in a minute. Okay, so we have to give him a minute here. But taking a look here, going forward, the next couple races. So we have next week, like I said, Long Beach, the first street course. But then after that, we go to Vegas to round of the regular season. Jared, do you have a copy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. There we go.
Oh,
I want
hi.
to say, I was like, we talked to you earlier. Did you lose your connection?
I think
or
my
something?
Discord broke when you pulled me in.
Oh, my bad. But you're all good. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying, congratulations on the win, back to back for you, and you just seem to be hitting your stride just at the right time for the playoffs here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Honestly, two tracks that I didn't really think would be on my market to win, but somehow we did, and I don't know, just so excited.
I mean, that was phenomenal racing. And we talked to Isaac about it. I mean, earlier it seemed like he was ahead of you there on the last restart, was able to pull away a little bit, then you pulled him back in, was able to make that move. But that first long green flag run, you were just kind of like checked out in a world of your own. I mean, you really just locked that car in. Was it the way you were running? Were you saving tires, or did you just have that natural pace here?
I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you. I just kind of, once we got clear on the restart, just kind of got into a rhythm, and it just keeping the rear tires in check was really all it is. I mean, you just can't get loose on the exits where all the time is, and I was kind of locked into a rhythm, and I guess I just gapped him. I didn't even realize. I looked down one lap, and he was 9/10 back, and I looked back, and he was 4 back. So, I mean, I didn't expect to have natural pace here, but I guess it's New Hampshire, so expect the unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, it was phenomenal racing. You put on almost a clinic there. I mean, you gapped him by 2.5 seconds there at the end. But taking a look here, next week is Long Beach. A little bit of an unknown for Cup cars. I don't know about you. I've never driven them at Long Beach. So what are your expectations? Maybe not for you specifically, but maybe just as a whole for the race. What are your expectations for next week?
Keep it off the wall. Don't hit the flowers. Don't lock a tire. Make sure you brake early so you don't hit a barrier. Probably not going 3 in a row. It's gonna be tough. I've driven them there I've driven the Cup car there a couple times. I think we're running a setup, so it's different than like the fixed sets you can use. So I'm hoping it's a little bit better. But the couple times I've driven it there, it's not very pleasant to drive.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I remember Chicago. It was not the most enjoyable experience, but as much as it didn't seem like it would, it actually had a good rhythm to it. It was a bit of an odd feeling. But I know that Long Beach is a lot different from Chicago.
Yeah, it's gonna sound really dumb, but it's gonna be kind of like a Monaco type that you see in F1. You know, it's just these next gens are so big, it's so tight. A lot of your passing is gonna come on those straightaways into the braking zone, and maybe a couple bump and runs, and it's gonna be. I think it'll be interesting. I don't have a lot of hope for it, but look, I mean, we'll see. I mean, hopefully it'll be good.
Well, the nice thing is you don't have to worry about trying to fight for a playoff spot. 2 wins back to back, and you're already very high in the points. You've pretty much got yourself all locked in. Now it's just fighting for a position heading into the playoffs. So next week, even if it isn't a great race for you, you can really kind of rest easy. But before you head on out here for the night, Jared, to celebrate your 2nd win in a row, anybody you would like to thank? Anything else you would like to say?
I'd like to thank you for putting the broadcast on, everyone who runs OMA, my teammate Thomas, who once again could not be here, and everyone at the OCM for once again letting me chill in the VC. And we didn't set the record for the most yellows, which disappointed. I thought we were really on pace for that, but yeah.
Well, hey, phenomenal racing again, Jarrett, and congratulations on your 2nd straight win.
Thank you.
All right, so that is that here for tonight. With all that being said, we want to take a moment to thank all of you again for joining us here at No Name Gaming and Racing Lights Productions for the Online Motorsports Association's Virtual Racing Championship Lobster Town 150. Congratulations to Jarrett Talmadge for his 2nd straight win in tonight's race. Join us next week as we head out to the West Coast to race on the streets of Long Beach. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast tonight. I want to thank the OMA for allowing us to bring this race to all of you. Be sure to check out Racing Lights Productions on Twitter with @RacingLightsPro, as well as on Facebook and Instagram. You can also head over to the YouTube channel to check out any previous broadcasts you may have missed. You can also join us Tuesday nights for the American Motorsports Association Late Model Stocks. They race this week at Southern National for their Dash for Cash, and 4 drivers have an opportunity to earn $100. That'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday evening. I'm Alex Light saying good night to you from the virtual New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Thanks again for tuning in.